Well, it may be the middle of winter, but the sun is out, the sky is blue, the birds are singing, and I've got a bag of poo. We've got some farmyard manure here, which actually isn't as smelly and as nasty as you might think. They've blended it with other organic materials. I'm guessing they've got wood fibre and they've probably got some coir in there, so that we're going to use this as a mulch on our roundabout garden. So if you join me on this video, I'll explain a little bit more about why we're doing this, what the benefits are, and if you're lucky, I might show you some late winter, early spring flowers of crocus and daffodils too. Come join me. There we are. So I've got about halfway round the roundabout there, the border, and before we have a closer look, let's just delight in these very early flowering crocus. I don't recall actually planting these. I think these have just come up through seeding. I think it's one called Firefly, and there's some snowdrops coming up there as well. So exciting times this stage of the late winter as spring starts to emerge. But have a look at this. So you can see that we've spread this over now, and if I'm honest, I would prefer to get something a bit deeper. We got about a centimetre or two of depth there, which looks quite nice, but actually we could go double that depth, have a couple of inches, maybe kind of 5-6 centimetres, but that will involve investing some more money, which is not one of my greatest pleasures. So let's think about then the benefits of this this kind of mulching that we're doing here. So the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is the nutrients, the food, and the worms actually will be helping us as the rain comes. It washes some of the nutrients that's in the manure and the compost and the organic materials down to the ground, which is great, and it's a gradual release. It's not not like a man-made fertilizer that often will release all its nutrients at once, which can scorch plants, and then there's nothing left a week or two afterwards. This is a much more natural way of producing longer term nutrients. There's a little early daffodil coming up there as well. There we are. Hello, mate. That's one called Spring Dawn, and one of the earliest flowering daffodils. There's some more just coming up over there. So yeah, so the nutrients will wash down slowly and the worms will help us. And this is perhaps the biggest benefit of mulching and adding natural organic fertilizers like this, is that you're actually partnering with nature. So where the worms will love the organic material, and they will kind of effectively kind of take it down as they ingest the ingredients of this mulch. They will take it down below ground, and as they're doing that, they're opening up the ground, they're opening up the soil, creating drainage channels and other microorganisms, of which there will be billions and billions. If we have a look at a little handful of soil like that, it is said that a handful of good kind of naturally rich garden soil can have as many microorganisms in it as there are people in the world. So apparently that's 7 or 8 billion in one little handful. That's amazing. Hey, so all those microorganisms will be working this organic matter into the ground. They will be kind of achieving the natural balance. Those microorganisms help the plants of the roots develop strongly. They help that kind of transfer of water and nutrients from the roots, to the roots from the soil. So this is really good news. We don't understand much about these microorganisms and even the fungi. Sounds like me, doesn't it? The fungi, things like mycorrhizal fungi that will be living there. These guys, again, they can kind of form symbiotic relationships with the roots of the plants, and they can really help the plant to absorb nutrients. Without those microorganisms and the fungi, there's a danger that we can be chucking fertilizers down and they just wash past the roots. Now, the other thing with these the microorganisms is they produce some warmth, and also that kind of black darker texture, darker colour of that mulch will actually absorb the heat. Even on a winter's day like today, that'll warm up the soil and again encourage those roots, encourage the new shoots, of which we have some really strong examples coming up there. That's the alliums that will be in flower in the summer, just coming up there. So yeah, and this is it's not new. It's been around before we were, this kind of understanding of the soil, but we've kind of forgotten how to partner with nature. So yes, I think you're going to hear more from me and other enthusiastic gardeners about things like fungi, mycorrhizal fungi, mycelium. Mycelium, I'm hearing this mentioned a lot, and I remember when I was doing some mulching up at the school a couple of years ago, I dug the soil over in the spring, and I found loads of kind of white strands of mycelium, and this is kind of the fungal growth underground which forms networks, and it's how nature works underground. We need mycelium, and I'm seeing more and more people, hearing more and more people talk about mycelium. And when I was at Chelsea Flower Show last year, I found people who were making kind of building blocks, bricks, out of mycelium, and I'll see if I can find a picture to put in there, and they were making clothes out of this material. So all of a sudden there's a lot of people talking about mycelium. So that's food, that's fungi, that's worms, and that's microorganisms, that's soil structure. Of course, it's going to hold in the moisture for it. It's going to help with the water retention in those long, hot, dry summers that we don't really get. It's going to keep the weeds at bay, and it's going to make it easier for me to spot the weeds when they do come up and pull them up nice and easily. Like that, get the roots as well. It's going to be warming up the soil, and perhaps equally importantly, it actually looks nice. If you compare the look of that nice dark kind of soil there with that stony kind of beigey brown soil which I haven't treated yet, this looks much nicer. I would normally try and get a nice level there. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy, so as I say, I'm going to get some more manure and kind of fill in some of those hollows there, so I get a nice even kind of camber on the soil, and when I can afford it, I'll put some more over there as well. So I hope this is of interest to you, of help to you. I would encourage you to think about organic matter any time of the year, but I'm doing this now in preparation for spring, after a rather wet winter, which will have washed a lot of the nutrients away. Would love to hear your comments, your questions, your experiences of using organic matter like this in your garden. Thanks for watching. Bye.